What's up, Kay? You're gonna have to remind me today what we looked at or the last time I was on. It wasn't yesterday, it was the day before, I think. Wednesday. See how that chart looks now. Alright, there we are. We are live on YouTube. There we go. And I got my chat up. Alright, so not looking so good. AMD not looking so good. Oh man. Was I talking shit about it too? I hope I wasn't. Alright, so before we get into anything too crazy, right, I want to just kind of do a quick little overview on what's going on right now. I mean, fundamentally, what's happening behind the scenes. We got some things to talk about. I want to talk about what happened today, this morning during New York. If you were trading, we had some data that came out, pretty big data for the U.S. We had PCE and we had GDP. Both came in pretty bad. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I'm kind of a nerd, so I'm all into this shit. Plus, if you're a trader, you need to be paying attention to this stuff. But anyway, PCE came in hot. It was expected at 3.0, came in at 4, right? Why is PCE important to us as traders? Well, it's the Federal Reserve's number one indicator for determining inflation. What do you think is going to happen if PCE is going up? They're definitely not going to be cutting any rates, cutting rates anytime soon. It's going to make them pull back. So that is, markets are forward thinking. Typically, I like to think. The reaction we saw today was for a different reason, but I'll kind of go over that in a little bit too. So what's really going on is like, okay, PCE is bad, GDP is bad as well. GDP came out like 1.8. It was expected like 3 something. What that is basically just like a broader view of economic health, right? That's what traders use it as. It's kind of showing us how we're doing as a country, and it's going down. So that's not good. That means we're pulling back. We're not manufacturing as much. And then the big thing that's happened is that Iran. We could talk about that stuff more, but the tensions with Iran and why that's important and why I want to segue into that is gold. Look at gold. Gold's going up. Anytime we have like any fears in the market, the first thing you're going to notice is that gold's going to usually go up, especially when there's war tensions. People flight to safety. They're looking for safe havens. Gold happens to be a safe haven right now. And it had a nice little pump. I actually gave a call the other day in the Discord. It was yesterday. I said, gold's going to go, guys. I got a long. I know Nick got a really nice long on that thing. I saw that. Good, congrats, Dunk, by the way. That was a good long, man. He took gold all the way down here. I'll show you where he got in. My man got in back down here. So when we were in this little range right here on gold, right? If you go down to the 1 hour. So gold's making a nice little recovery right here. And it's been ranging for a couple days. And if you take this little range right here and just take this little pattern, we knew it was consolidating, right? We just didn't know if it was going to break up or down. My theory was if it breaks up, back test, it runs up, right? That was what I was looking for. Nick happened to get in one of these lows. I think either it was this low here or this low here he got in on. So he got in on one of these lows down here, and he's riding this thing. So he's in a nice position on gold. But ultimately, and anyway, enough with the bragging, but look, gold's coming up against a serious level right now, and it's stopped right. It's like right there. This is aftermarket, by the way, but it's up against 5,100. I've been saying for a while that 5,100 is going to be the test for gold. Take this line, just pop this right up here so you get a little visual of what I'm talking about. It's going to be the test for gold. If it can break this level, that's a daily level. It's coming back up to retest the highs. Like this, any bearish sentiment kind of just leaves my mind at that point. Like I'm like, it's going to at least attempt these highs. And for me, that's a nice little gap right there. Catch me a nice little move. If you're not in it already, it's a nice 6 to 9% move back up there. Fast up, fast down. This is the last hump. And this would technically be a higher low. So yeah, we had a nice little capitulation, but this pattern, if you go to a higher time frame, doesn't look like anything. It just looks like it just might go back up and fill this wick. So gold going up is one thing, but it has to break this level. Otherwise, it's starting to look more like a bear flag, in my opinion. Like it could go either way, you know. Maybe it doesn't really does. Maybe it fakes out and it's like, oh, I don't know, and just starts to do this. So we need to figure it out. And it comes for this wick here. Look, that it left behind back at like 4,400. So like either way, there's liquidity, and it's gonna go for one direction. And we're at that pivotal point where it could play out both directions. But with the war scares and stuff like that, and I think the impact on oil, all that stuff, people are starting to flee to safety. Man, they're just worried, and I'd be worried too. But what's propping markets up right now, and if you guys aren't paying attention to this, what's really popping markets up, it's because we got the tariffs overturned today. They deemed them illegal, and it makes sense. I mean, think about it. Like it kind of like pushes back, I guess, like it's gonna decrease inflation, because tariffs were a big source of fear of inflation from the Fed. So like people perceive it as like, oh, this is great, but I think it's just short term, and I think it's gonna be like overall people are gonna figure out that this is not gonna be sustained pump, and that's just my view on it. Not gonna tell you how to think, but that's just how I'm seeing things right now. I think this is just one of those bear market rallies we get. So gold's pumping. Yeah, I can do it. Don't get so demanding, guys. Jesus. What channel on Discord? What channel on Discord? I actually put it in the stocks TA and in my personal channel, Eddie TA. I put a gold play. I told exactly what I was gonna do. Pro was asking, but I'm gonna go look at some other stuff. AMD. Let's go look at S&P real quick. Actually, we'll start with NASDAQ. We can do the Qs. We'll do the Qs first. Somebody's being a little pushy over there. So look, this is what's really got it. Just break it down like this, guys. You're in a range. I want to simplify trading for you right now. And by the way, guys, if you're listening in right now, and if you're not following us, hit follow, hit subscribe, like. It really does go a long way. It helps us out, and I appreciate you. And if you're not part of the Discord, come check us out. We got a website, tacticaledgetraders.com. And then, we have a free Discord. We got a free courses on there. Ben did really well. We teach you all you need to know about trading. And in the Discord, we trade, we talk. You're going to be amongst people with like-minded to bounce ideas off of and be around. So check us out. It's not going to cost you anything. So look, let's talk about the NASDAQ real quick. And I'm going to use the US 100 because I like this chart. So I don't want to hear anything. They're all the same. I swear to God, they're all the same. And if you fight me on that one, because I look at charts all day and I know. So look, it's been trading in a range. Our lows closer to 24,000. Our high sitting up here around 26, right? We had a double top. We haven't pierced it yet. We came down. I think we got a little bit of bullish divergence. Kind of a little bit, not really. But anyway, we bounced off the range low. We'll put in a higher low here. And we're breaking trend. So what am I seeing now? I think this high right here, I'm going to get rid of this trend. This trend's just more of a narrative, right? Just showing you what's happening. I think this high here, 25,364 is probably going to be your next target. And if you break that high, that's a daily high. Treat it like a daily high. That means and it's probably a weekly high too. It is a weekly high, but not like an actual pivot high, more of just a 1 week, the previous week. So there's probably going to be some resistance up there. So look for that when it does open up. And to your downside, I mean, look, you got your low, this wick low here at 24,400. That's probably going to be that's probably going to be your support. I mean, if you really want to get technical about it, you really don't want to lose. You start losing the daily low, because this daily low kind of was the reversal right here. We weren't looking too hot. And then this candle kind of pushed us up. So I say whoever bought in or whatever pushed us up, a lot of the liquidity stacked under here. So if they came and went for the liquidity, that's fine. But if we start to lose it, I feel like we come tumbling down. And I feel like this is not really going to sustain us too much. So I think we probably make our way back down to this low here, which would make a little bit more sense to me. But those are your levels right now on the daily. Look, I'll give you the plus side on the 4 hour. It does look a little bit like an inverse head and shoulders, right? So there's your positivity, right? There's your neckline. Break the neckline, boom, it's gonna go up. Probably take this high, maybe, and then maybe if it does break, maybe it gets up to 26,200. It gets up to that high. There, and you see what happens. I mean, I'm not a breakout trader, so you're not gonna catch me trying to catch any longs there. But yeah, sure, I can see that one. And yeah, like, dude, just look across the market. Everything's up right now, right? Bitcoin's up, gold's up. Everything's kind of up. S&P went from all the way down here today, down at 68.31. And I'm not going to go over the S&P because it literally looks exactly the same as NASDAQ. So don't even ask. It's fucking pointless, I swear. Unless you're talking about like a specific lower time frame trade or something, maybe I'll do that, but like not like and analyze it. But anyway, look, same shit. But it had a nice recovery today. So question is, what happens when we open on Monday? Do they take this shit all back? I don't know. I've seen it happen before. It fucking sucks, but maybe they'll pump it up a little bit more. I'm going to look at AMD because somebody asked for that early on. Let's go take a look. Nah, I didn't get hit too hard. All right, so I'm just going to get rid of this shit. So, I mean, look, it's still beneath trend. Let's just get a quick overview. It's still beneath trend. As long as it's below this, I'm going to simplify it. You're kind of sitting on the cliff's edge, right? You really don't want to lose this level. I'm just going to make 2 quick lines for you just to simplify. You don't want to lose this level on 194. You start losing 194, you're opening up the gap right back to this gap here. See how there's a gap in price action? That's they're going to probably come fill that, and I'll take you down to about 171. So these are your levels, really. And I mean, your resistance is right here. Keep it real simple in this one. So maybe it ranges around, but you really don't want to lose 194. And then if you push up, you're looking around 219 for resistance. Anything above that, you could have a chance of going back up to the highs. But I mean, again, this trend has shown that it's been respected. You could see it tapped it. So it's being respected. So it's resistance till it's not. End of the day. Yo, what's up, everybody? Got 46 people in the house. Look, I got to say this right now. Like, I'm happy that has a lot of people like me because I'm like, I'm on a Friday night. You can see I'm comfy as fuck right now. I'm on a fucking sweatshirt, chilling at home. Fucking looking at charts, talking about the market, fucking hanging out, and like, I think that's pretty dope that there's a lot of people out here like me. I thought I was like just gonna be alone. I'm like, who the fuck wants to look at charts on a Friday and talk about trading? Like, come on. Like, are you using a funded? I do have a funded account with Brightfunded. It's pretty decent, man. It's not bad. I use a prop and I trade mostly crypto. I'll be 100% honest with you. I used to be 100% a crypto trader. Then I moved into like gold, heavy into gold. And then like I started moving into like NASDAQ and US 100, US 500. Those are just like the futures I use. But I can trade those on the crypto accounts as well. So I'm still like kind of converting out of exchanges into like actual stocks. But I mean, most of my stuff's done on like, I mean, fucking most of it's just done on my, like between my funded, I can get pretty much anything I want on there. And then I do a lot of it on BitFi because I do a lot of Bitcoin trading. All my trading is Bitcoin, mostly my day trading at least. Swing trading can be anything, but yeah. What do you use to trade your cash? I want to find a way to put my own money into an account. To trade your cash. Trade. Like, I'm not sure what you're asking, Jimmy. My bad, brother. Where's an invite? What's up, Phil? Dude, what are you guys talking about? I'm like watching the YouTube chat right now. They're on a different planet. What's your tip starting off? What does that mean? Oh, starting off as a trader. Dude, like, I'll give you the biggest thing. If you have someone who can teach you, you're probably going to, who actually knows what the fuck they're doing, you're probably going to have a high chance of success because he's going to be able to like steer you away from the pitfalls. If you don't have that, the next tier is probably join a trading group. You can check out our group, tacticaledgetraders.com. We have free courses on teaching you all the shit that we trade with, our systems. We don't gatekeep any of that shit. Ben puts all that stuff online. My man's made it in trading. He's done very well for himself. I'm not going to put his shit out there, but like, he does this full time. He's got 7 kids. He takes care of all of them. So, and he lives a pretty damn fucking good life, going to like the middle of the fucking jungle in the middle of the day. Like, oh, I'm just going to like middle of the week. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to San Fran this week, or fucking go fly fucking somewhere to go get his hair cut. I don't know what he fucking does, dude. Dude's weird. Play fucking Battlefield while you guys are working. You know what he's doing? He makes all of his money in fucking 2 hours of his day, right? I'm gonna talk shit about Ben right now because I hope he's listening. 2 hours of his day makes all of his fucking money for the week, right? As a trader, he plays Battlefield the rest of the day. He calls it Protecting America. I'm just like, this fucking guy, dude. Like, he really like makes, that's the glam, that's the fucking life right there. Like, he does what he wants to do the rest of the day and he doesn't have to do shit. And sometimes he doesn't even trade, dude. Like, that's trading, to be honest with you. But the tip is to like get a system and learn some shit from people who are actually credible and know what the fuck they're talking about. And that'll help you really like kind of like not fuck up. Because the first thing you're going to want to do is put money in the market. That's the worst thing you should do, is put money in the market right away. I think you need to like kind of learn how to trade, learn what not to do, learn risk management, understand trading's about discipline. It's not about like fucking pushing buttons and shit. Like, you got to really like know what the fuck you're doing. Wait. It's a waiting game at the end of the day. And it takes it can take years for some people to master this shit. But if you're around the right people and you're getting the right mentorship, I promise you, like, you're going to be like decades ahead. Like, whatever's happening right now, if you're trading, if you're losing, by the way, if anybody out there is listening and you're like losing and you're spinning your wheels, like, most people I know, including myself, when I joined the group, we went from, like, most of them will say within like weeks, they're like, I went from losing a shit ton to like, you know, bleeding, but not so bad where it's like fucking like where I'm panicking. And like, or some people are like, you know, I was losing a bit, but now I'm break even, because they like just show up. They take in what they hear. They listen. They use in the learning library. They're looking, they're watching the videos. They're trading with us live. Like, I'm telling you, dude. So if you're not like, look, if you're not doing anything else, just join the group. It's free. tacticaledgetraders.com. Links are in the bios, guys. Hit the like, subscribe, follow if you're on TikTok. We appreciate it, guys. And we do content 6 days a week just like this. So anyway, that's to answer your question, by the way. And we're here for, that's really what I'm really here for, is you guys. I mean, charts are there and I can go over fucking charts all day, but I'd rather engage with you guys and talk and bullshit and kind of like, you know, maybe you throw some wisdom at me. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a one-way street. That's what I'm here for, just to kind of like bullshit and like, let's fucking talk about shit, man. Just talk about what's happening in the markets. Let's talk about Donald Trump being fucking pissed off right now. I didn't want to get into the Trump shit, but man, he must be mad as fuck, dude. I am not either side on this fucking one when it comes to political shit. But he's like, yeah, we'll just fight it in court for 5 years. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, just fucking let it go. You're a fucking president twice. You won. You don't have to win every fucking battle. That's just my opinion on that. Sorry, guys. What broker should you use to trade your own money? Look, use something credible, dude. If you're new to trading, like, stick to something really, really like light, like Robinhood is probably going to be your safe bet. It's not bad to go for somebody who's brand new. If you're a little bit more experienced, man, you got things like Webull, Fidelity, some of the bigger ones. I'd say stick with things that are credible, the bigger brokers. You don't want to like go to some shady ass broker. brokerage that charge you an ass ton of money on a spread or something like that. That's some fucking bullshit overnight. Like what's the name of it? The fee they call it. Oh, fuck. I don't know what it's called because I won't use any of them that actually do this, but it's a fee for just having something overnight, a trade open overnight. They charge you fees for that shit. Some brokers, they'll fucking, yeah. Fidelity's not bad. 4 years in my own sucks. Sorry to hear that, man. I've been in for a year, finally seeing some. That's good to hear, man. Do I see up or down in just me? Of what? What am I seeing? I'm honestly, in the short term, kind of like I was spewing out earlier, just kind of looking at the charts. I'm just going to use Bitcoin as an indicator for you guys. Just like, because Bitcoin kind of front runs the market, right? Plus, I want to get some Bitcoin analysis out the way for my peoples in the crypto space. But like it's a front run of the market. It's kind of telling you what the market's doing. It's been coming down for weeks, and everything else is starting to kind of get weakened. And you're starting to see things like AMD. You're starting to see things like fucking like even Nvidia and Tesla aren't looking that great. Like some of the bigger things, Apple surprisingly is looking not that bad. But there's a lot of them. Like Meta already had its little tank. You know, a lot of things are starting to fall over. But like Bitcoin's the first sign of that. So like let's look at Bitcoin in the short term, and we can talk about like where I think the market's going in the short term. And this is me just kind of describing everything. So look, it's been trading in a range, right? Just these are my lines, ignore them. I'll get rid of this one right here, but look at that's support. Let's just think about this. This is major support here, major resistance. We're trading in a range. Bitcoin's probably, based on the way it is right now, how we put in a daily close. We had a green candle right here, kind of stopped us, closed above the previous day, and then we got this candle here. So what this is telling me, that mixed with the fact that we broke a trend and we have a 4-hour market structure shift, right? We're working on actually right now, but I think we have an hourly shift. Yeah, we got a few of them. But anyway, look, Bitcoin's kind of pushing up. I mean, it is what it is. It's starting to look almost even like an inverse head and shoulder starting to form. Like, I can give you all the bull cases, but to me, I think that we're probably going to make our way back up to retest some of these levels up here. Whether it's this level here or it's going to be this level up here. That's my two levels I'm kind of guessing on. But I think it's short term. I don't think it's anything more than just a bear market retest before another move down. Kind of like a reset. Bear flags don't go in a straight line. They don't do. A lot of times you think a bear flag is just as simple, right? Just that. After a big move down, right? You think it's this, then you think it's this, and then it goes down. It's never that. It's always something more like this, where it pops up, shakes everybody out, gets everybody bullish, and then it dumps. Does the sweep. Like it'll come up, grab liquidity really quick, move fast, and then it'll run down. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking Bitcoin's, well, at least that's how Bitcoin trades. So I'm expecting something like that, man. Whether it's up here, like I said, whether it's up here to grab or they're going to grab here. They're going to grab somewhere before they run it down hard. And I think the rest of the market's doing the same. I think they're just I think a lot of times before you have big moves, you usually go, like if you're going down, usually they move the price up and they get people like suckered in. Don't be fucking exit liquidity right now. That's all I'm saying. Meltdown, yeah. Bro is a failed YouTuber and also a failed trader by the looks of his camera. Yeah, you're absolutely right, dude. Dude, I'm chilling. I don't really give a fuck. Honestly. I'm on here just because I enjoy this shit. Failed YouTuber. It's actually kind of like a compliment to me. I'd rather people think that than like me have high hopes, you know what I mean? Set the bar low, you know what I mean, for expectations, and you just fucking step on that shit while you're running over it. Somebody asked for Oklo. What is Oklo? Price is getting tight. Let's go see what it looks like. Is Oklo why it said USDT? I just assumed it was a crypto for some reason. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to get to this analysis real quick. I hope my shit talker's in here. I hope you're in here. I'm going to give you a little fun. All right. What's that say right there? Hold on, let's see if I can get that in there. There it is. What's that say? What's gold saying there? It says 4-hour range about to break, right? Point that out. Look at the little drawing, right? All right, look at that drawing. Just remember that. And that's yesterday. That's documented in the Discord. Now, what's gold do? What did gold do? That was on the 1 hour. That was on the 4 hour, right? Wow. It did almost exactly like I said it was going to do. It's funny. So for my failed trader guy, I just want to let you know. And I gave that to the Discord, by the way. And like I said, I took that trade, and I know Nick took that trade. He took it on his own analysis because he's a great trader. But anyway, we'll go back to Oklo. I'm done talking shit now. You're going to have to come like harder than that if you're really going to hurt my feelings. Or try to make me look stupid. It's not really going to work. Doesn't work for most people. Make myself look stupid. Psh, I don't need anybody else to do it for me. Look, man, this thing's been just down for a while. Like, you're getting down to this wick right now. Like, honestly, like, you're just losing low after low. I don't, if I'm just looking at this from a chart perspective on the weekly, right? And I'm not trying to laugh, but I just like, it's funny when I see charts like this because it's like, what the fuck else am I going to say besides it's going down? Like, that's what's going to happen, man. Like, it lost this weekly low, right? That was pretty much a huge low because you can see we caught support off it before and got that little bounce. But then when it lost, it was pretty much like anybody who is holding on here that's like, oh, maybe we're going to go up still. They're like, oh, fuck. It's like abandoned ship, right? And anybody who had liquidity under here, stop losses from this big pump, they're getting squeezed right now. They're probably like, oh, my God, they're under pressure. So they're going to probably come down here and probably head down to this level next, man. I mean, it's the next logical place for this thing to go. So I'm just showing you, like, we're at this little wick, but I doubt this is going to hold. It's probably coming down to this $50 level. So anybody who's been long for this big ass pump and they're still holding on and they didn't take profits, they're gonna get fucked. Anybody who still thinks because look, this is the trap. I'm gonna tell you the trap right now. You think you're in a bull market, right? And then you're here, and then you got the people who are still holding here. A lot of people sold already, right? You got people still holding here, thinking, oh, we're going up. We're still in the bull market. Failed attempt, right? They load up, boom, they get sold off on. Oh no, we got some hope. And then the rug gets pulled. And then you start losing weekly lows. And look, the sad part is they set up weekly market structure shift on that too. So the trend's down. So like, I hate to say it, it's coming down. I mean, this is probably going to be a bounce, but who knows if that's it. But I think you'll get some decent support there because look, so resistance once now is support. So that's probably where you're going to find support. And if you're bullish, that's where you look for longs. Track this trend. Go to your daily, right? I'm done talking shit. I was just trying to make an example because that's what everything's doing right now. So I'm not hating on any particular chart. But look, the trend's down. You see how it's going down right there? As long as that is underneath that trend line, like, you stay bearish. And you can see, like, it's starting to do what is for my pattern people out here, right? What's that? It's a bear pennant. When you're coming down from a downtrend and you start to wedge out like that in a tight fashion like that, that's a pennant. If it's like more of a triangle, like a symmetrical triangle, but it's tilted down more, so this is coming down. Or you can call it, like some people might call it, like just a symmetrical triangle, but more likelihood that it's going to break in the direction that it was going already, and you're rejecting off trend. So I mean, it's going to take you down to this 51 area. I mean, look, if I take the actual look out here, let me just show you some fucking silly ass basic TA, all right? take the measured move of that right there, right? Now, keep an eye on where that's at. We'll go to my weekly. I'm going to adjust this to this low right around here. It's not science. I don't know. Maybe it is science, right? Chart science, but it just happens to be that the pattern, if it broke down, the measured width of the largest part of that triangle is how you take measured moves. And this stuff is back tested and studied. Believe me, there's a lot of nerdy motherfuckers out there who made millions on this shit over decades. And you know, that's like, look, the shit's right there. That's your zone, $50. So that's just a little TA lesson for you guys. By the way, if you're not following, follow us. We do these lives 6 days a week. It's myself and Ben. Ben's another hilarious motherfucker. That dude, he's good, man. Talk to him about altcoins next time he's on, by the way. He's so funny, man. He'll talk about it. He'll talk your ear off about them. That's all I'm going to say on that one. But ask him about altcoins. But yeah, subscribe, hit like. It helps out the channel. Check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com. We have a Discord. Yeah, I day trade. This week I haven't actually been trading. I took 2 plays this week on a swing basis, right? I took this play here that I actually gave out in the Discord too. If you guys don't believe me, join and go look at my channel. I literally I just basically say what trade I'm looking for, and if price action does this, I will do this. And if it does it, I do that. Like that's how I trade. Like if it does what I think it's gonna do, or what I'm like mapping out, and I map out both scenarios, A and B, like if it's gonna fail that, what the opposite would be. And if like sometimes you catch it, sometimes you're right. I'm usually right more than I'm wrong. It doesn't happen. I'm not 100% right, but yeah, this is the trade I took. I said, if we broke this trend, because we've been in a downtrend, I said, when we break this trend, I will look for this. So you look for that, and you look for the back test to continuation. It's a simple bull flag. It did the same thing last time, right? You're in a range. What happens when you break the flag? You start to pump a little bit. You get a little bit of a pump action. You're in an established range right now. So what's my target? My target's simple. It's this high right here. It's probably about 70,700. Maybe I get a little squeeze up to 71.2. And if I really feel like leaving a little bit of a runner after I take profits, I run it up to probably maybe like 76. And then I ditch it. If it goes up to 80K, who gives a fuck? I made a banger on it, you know what I mean? But you get out, you move your stop loss to break even or in profits as it continues up. And I can teach you guys how to do that stuff, by the way. Ben does an amazing job of teaching it, like way better than I could do. He tells you, he'll teach you how to do that stuff, and it's for free. You check out tacticaledgetraders.com. But I'm fucking done chilling right now. Let me somebody give me something to look at, something good. Let me go see what YouTube wants. YouTube, you got anything for me? I don't see any tickers in YouTube. Saint, you said you tripping? I'm always tripping, dude. That's what, dude, I don't give it, dude. You guys want to know what I did in my past life? I'll tell you someday. You got to become like a real big fan. Actually, you got to join the Discord. If you go in the Discord, you'll find out what I used to do. What my old profession was. You find a lot about it. And you'll be surprised, too, because you'll be like, what the fuck? Can you review your trade in detail? Yeah, I can. So look, I can absolutely do that. So here's what you're looking for. When you have a trend like this, right, there's a couple ways it plays out. You're going to get a breakout. You're looking for a break of the previous high. I'm just looking at the 1 hour here, right? You're looking at a break of this previous high here. I'm going to get rid of this little drawing. When you get that break, right, for me, that's a good sign because, one, we're breaking structure to the upside. So that's like a positive for me. This back test, believe it or not, actually, this might have been right here. This might have actually been the break of structure or the market structure shift because you have a low right here and then you have this higher low. So I don't know. I'm not going to get too crazy about it, but we had the break of structure. I didn't care. That was enough for me. I saw the trend break and I saw that we didn't go up and take this liquidity up here. I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, right? We left the liquidity behind. So worst case scenario, that's a target. So this morning during New York, what'd they do? They do what they always do. I'm going to show you. Well, give me 1 second. Let me pull up this indicator if I can find it. I don't have it. Anyway, let me just go mark it off where they're at. So right here, that was the... So they went and took they took Asia out, is what they did. This low right here. I mean, they extended it a little bit, but like, I mean, essentially this low right here, this is the liquidity built up last night on Asia. Actually, all the way down here. BTC's crossing up. So essentially, it took all this liquidity. What New York does. This is a typical thing they do every day. So I was like, look, if it breaks out, it's going to come back down at some point because New York's always going to sweep. Did I think it was going to come all the way this far down? No, but this happened to be the perfect retest because what does it line up with? It lines up with a back test in my trend. The theory behind that is this, like worst case, like if it bounces on the trend, it's an acceptance of the break of trend and a new trend will form. That's the thinking behind it. It's a whole like type of it's technical analysis on trend trading, and like there's fucking books on it that explain it, and you can back test this stuff to see if it works, and it really does, believe it or not. So yeah, I mean, I entered down here. I entered on a lower time frame. I was like in it, man, when I was trying to get in. It was somewhere in this little circle right here. Like, well, I'll just draw it out. Because like it got a little shaky for a little bit because like it came down, right, had a back test. I was like, ooh, maybe it's time to get it in. Waited for it, and then when it had this little back test down here, this candle, when it started to pump back up and it got back above this, I was like, I gotta get in, and I did. This was fucking terrible. I had to ride this back down. I was like, oh fuck, did I just round trip this? I was all nervous about it and shit. I'll be honest, man, I get nervous when I trade sometimes too. Like, you can be cool and calm and, like, being nervous and feeling the reaction of a trade, by the way, like, because you have money on the line, right? It is what it is. At the end of the day, you're going to feel something. If you don't feel something, but you shouldn't be, like, fucking sweating and running around. But, like, I was, like, more nervous. I was, like, because to me, I think my biggest thing is I hate round tripping. It's always, like, a fucking, it always, like, makes me feel like shit. Because that makes me feel like a greedy piece of shit that just didn't take profits. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with me? So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, that's how pretty much the trade, dude. I mean, I keep it simple, dude. There's not like no magic indicator or anything like that. I look at market structure, I look at trends, and I look at just basic support and resistance, divergences sometimes too. But Netflix, I can go look at Netflix, guys. Let me go check that out. Yeah. Do what As said. Join the Discord. Dude, we talk shit in the Discord too. It's not just like you're going to go in there and a bunch of charts and a bunch of like no like humans. Like, we share ideas. We have group sessions and stuff like that with each other. And we teach, we learn together sometimes, like new topics we're going over. We discuss the markets. I post trade ideas. I post a lot of charts. I'm kind of the guy who's like a little obsessed with posting too many charts. And you know, sometimes they play out, and sometimes people come to me and they say, you know, I appreciate you throwing that chart up there. I took a trade based off of it. I didn't give a trade. Remember this. I didn't give a trade. I posted a chart. I posted an idea. I posted a level, and somebody saw it and they were like, hey, I'm going to find a way to execute my entry model. And then they're like, they end up getting in the trade, and they're like, hey, Ed, if you didn't say anything, I probably would have never looked at that chart, and I wouldn't have had that trade. So that's kind of what we do, you know, and we help each other too. Like, if you're a newer trader, we can help you become a successful trader. You have to be willing to put the time and effort in. So I'm doing the analysis right now, by the way, as I talk. So it's not like I'm not doing anything. I'm just looking to see if I see anything that like looks anything different than what I'm about to say, which is probably going to say this. Look, big shocker here, right? It's been in a downtrend, right, for quite a bit of time. The trend steepened. It was this way. Now it got steeper, right? What does that tell you? It's momentum shift is down. In the macro, on the higher time frames, we lost the macro trend from 2022. That's like fucking 4 years ago. and we lost trend. So I think the next level it's probably going to make its way down to is this $70. It's on its way there. It's the next major level that I even see any type of bounce, because look, this is empty. This is nothing. There's no trading happening here on a higher time frame. Price is moving pretty quick there. So it's going to make its way back down to the next auction house, which is probably somewhere down here maybe. We'll see. But in the short term, what's it doing? It's bear flagging out. That's all I can see right now until it proves otherwise. That's a bear flag. You know, it's like not the prettiest looking one, but it's there. Did the same thing here. Did the same thing here. The same thing here. Same thing there. Same thing. What? You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. That's a rule that will actually go a long way in trading. If the trend's down, the trend's down. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to catch every single low, because you're going to get fucking smashed. So right now, $70 is your target. Stick to the higher time frame levels too if you're looking for bounces on supports and resistances. 83 then comes down. Could it get up to 83? I mean, look, I think on the daily, this is the highest this gets to without breaking structure to the upside. So they can literally run this all the way up, take all this back, maybe up to 82, 83. I'm not saying they couldn't. Remember I said earlier, and look, listen to my words earlier. I said bear flags don't often just play out perfectly. A lot of times they do a pop. They could 100% do something like that. Get back into that $80 area and still put a lower high in on the daily and continuation down. So yeah, that could 100% happen. I wasn't really trying to like say where exactly it's going to go, but I try not to give like too crazy of predictions. I'd like, you know, when my squiggles get too squiggly, it's usually a little bit too much. You know, I'm doing too much. The market isn't the market closed? Netflix is closed right now. But their futures is trading, I think. Yeah, futures is trading. Say their futures price is lower. So if you go to the 4-hour, you can see the true price of what's happening behind markets in the futures. So it's on at 78.58. But look, it's down a few cents, but it's not really, it doesn't really, there's few markets that actually offer that kind of stuff. They're good. You know, soon, I don't know if you guys know this, but soon they're like everything is converting into the blockchain. Like all the stocks, they're using Ondo, which is like one of my favorite tokens before. They're using Ondo financing. They've already moved into there. Stocks are going to be traded on the blockchain. So everything's going to operate on the blockchain there. So it's going to happen 24/7. Like you're going to be able to trade on Saturdays. If you want to go trade S&P, you can go do it on Saturday, because they don't need to have it regulated like that. They realize it's a waste of time. Like even CME, I don't know if you guys know this, but CME now operates on the weekends. They just like announced that. Like everything's converting over. Like this shit's going to be like, weekends ain't going to matter. It's such a dumb rule anyway. I mean, yeah, it's good practice as a trader not to trade on the weekends because the volatility is low. The big players aren't there. You want to trade with the whales. You don't want to trade when you're fucking, you know, you don't want to trade out there in shallow, choppy water. That's what the weekends are. But yeah, this thing's going to head down. I mean, measured move, look. After this plays out, maybe the measured move is probably down. Look, fucking shit. It takes you down to $70. So look for $70 at some point, maybe for some reaction. Oh, stocks don't go up forever. The hot stocks, they're going to be, yeah, you're absolutely right. Robert Lopez is right. Amazon, I can go look at some Amazon. You don't think you'd listen to me? I wouldn't listen to me. You're right. But you're still here listening to me. Why? Explain to me that. Mic drop, motherfucker. I'm just kidding. Get a little aggressive there. I mean, straight up, dude. Look, it broke trend. I mean, we talked about this, I think, last week. So Amazon broke trend. Came all the way down to about 200. You're bouncing here. You got a gap that you're basically sitting right at the cusp of the gap. You see the CME gap right here? This is just a gap that happened over the weekend. It put it in as price action was moving. A lot of times when you first approach these gaps, they act as resistance. So, I mean, Do we enter the gap? I don't know. We have to see what happens. Like right now, this is a green candle. We have not that much data on it. It's just resistance. I wouldn't long into this, but I will say this: if you can start to, if it does break in, right? Let's say it breaks above this level, pulls back, it could run up. You know, could run up into this area. It could even go a little higher than that. Like the gap runs up pretty high. I'll show you guys a cool little tool on TradingView, by the way, which I like to use a lot as a trader. And this is, you can see this, like the more experience you get, the easier it is to see these gaps straight up. It's just not, it's the best way I can say it. But if you use this tool called the VRVP, right? Visible Range Volume Profile, what it does is it shows you the volume on the side of the data of the charts that you're looking at. Like, so the data that's on the screen right now, it's showing me the volume. But what you can see, no matter how I shift this, do you see how the volume starts to get shallower here? That's what we call a volume gap, low volume gap, or you may call a single print. You may call it there's a lot of names for it, to be 100% honest with you. There's a lot of names for it. So, and it doesn't matter. They do the same thing. Price action moves quickly through these. So a lot of times you'll get traders who want to try to take the trade and push into this. They'll try to take the long. They like to trap them. Oftentimes, I usually look through the trap. So what I'll look for is this. And this is just how my mind thinks as a trader. And like as you develop your style as a trader, if you are, that's what you're trying to do. Maybe you're just trying to get price action. And I'm sorry if I'm boring you with this. I'm speaking to like the traders out there right now. Look, I would look for them to come up here, attack this high right here on the first pass, just the first pass. After the first pass, if they go bad at it again, I don't fuck with it. I won't even touch it, right? I'll wait for this. I'll wait for them to go up, attack this high, and then close back under. And when they confirm the close back under with either a lower high or a back test of this resistance, I will take the short. It'll usually get you back down just a little bit depending on what time frame you're taking it on. So in this case, I would probably target a low down here somewhere for like a back test, right? Somewhere down there, catch a little bit of a move down. And then what they'll end up usually doing, if they are going to push it up, right? If that does usually play out and they're still going to push it up, I'll use, you get to catch, I don't get greedy with those, but let's say they do that, they come down, they can still put a higher low in and still run it up and actually take it. It's just a trap that they like to do in the markets. I used to trade volume gaps a lot, like exclusively when I was swing trading, because they're just a lot easier to trade because you don't get like anytime you get like near a big gap like that on a 4 hour, I mean, you can catch a nice move on a trade. So, I mean, maybe that's something you look for on Amazon. I'm not like trying to give trades out. Nothing's financial advice, guys, straight up. I just want to be honest there. I'm not telling you when to enter or anything like that, but look. And look, you could always look for any pullbacks into there's a little bit of a trend developing here too, right? So you can look for any pullbacks into this area. Could still yield you some bullishness, you know what I mean? Something like that. Draw this over just a little bit, guys. Got a lot of trolls out tonight, guys. You haven't asked me about asset management, rare lefty. If you want to talk about asset management, we could talk about asset management. What would you like to know? Right now, we're just talking about charts, man. I'm not talking about money at all. Not once have I mentioned money. So, just want to make that very clear with everybody. I'm never going to tell you what to do with your money. It's just not who I am. I don't want to be a financial advisor. That's just not who I like to teach people about the markets, what I understand, what's worked for me, and that's it. And if you don't care, if you don't think it's bullshit, I mean, truthfully, dude, that's cool, man. Like, but why are you here listening at the end of the day? It's like, that's the thing I just want to understand. Like, I'm not, like, trying to, like, make you feel bad or anything. I just want to, like, know. So, like, if you could type that in the chat, that'd be great. I just want to get into the mind of an idiot. Yeah, I can go look at Hood. You know what I mean, guys? Just want to know what they think, why they say what they say. Like, who hurt them? All right, I'm done. I'm done. Cook this guy before he goes beat his cat or something. I don't know, man. Don't hit animals. That's fucked up. Hood. Okay, look, man. Hood's kind of like doing some shit. I can't tell if this is a bear flag though. I'm trying to figure this out. So I'm like kind of like analyzing it with you guys. I'm gonna get rid of this volume tool, by the way. I was just showing you guys what that is. And I can look at MU afterwards. What's Potterbox? I think I've heard of that before. So look, they're consolidating here, right? You're consolidating under a key level at around 79. You can also see what sits above 79. We just went through that whole spiel about gaps. I'm not going to go through explain it. Just assume everything I just said applies to this box right here. So they're going to protect that box, and we're kind of chipping up into it. You can see by the wicks, right? Like, I'm just showing you on the 4 hour because I can't really tell you on the daily what's happening. Like, it's really hard to see this. So I'm showing you on the 4. But these are daily lows still. These are big levels, and this is a daily high. So price action is just sitting above this trend for now, and it's consolidating in this range. It's either going to go up and attack this level here, which would be the next level of resistance right around like $80, or it's going to make its way down to this level here, probably around $70. Probably it's going to resolve either way. It's hard to tell when they consolidate the way they do like this, because I can make a case for either one, that it's a bull flag, or I can be like, no, that kind of looks a little choppy, doesn't really look healthy. So, but for now, just stay out of the chop, wait for it price to push into an area, and that's all I always say if you're looking for a trade. If you're bullish on, like if you're talking long term, I'd say, look, man, if you can get your way up to this gap, that's a daily high, right? Your daily high is sitting up here around this level at 88. That's going to be a tough level to break. If you can get up to this level, but, don't actually break it, it's a lower high at the end of the day, and your target's going to still be 66, 67 below. If you break this level, my tune changes a little bit, because then that's a break of structure on the daily that could take you up to higher prices, and maybe up to like this 97-100. Maybe we left something behind. You see how there's these single candles. That's just basically telling you there's not a lot of liquidity, not a lot of trading happening in these areas. So price moves quickly there. That's all. So if you can get back above 88, maybe 96 to 100 is in the cards. Everything, I gave you all the local levels as well. So that's Robinhood kind of in the nutshell. You said 10K and 10Q don't matter when technicals are bearish. Yeah, bro. Talk to me about Palo Alto, that going into shallow place. I don't know what that means, Jose. Kathy Wood, going into the shallow. Kathy Woods just brought the downtrend on Hood. Yeah. Did she buy it? Where's she buying at, Robert? Don't tell me she just bought it now. I hope she bought up here or something. Tell me she's trapped. I guess I'm hating right now. I'm going to stop hating on her. I don't really fucking have anything against Kathy Wood. I just think it's funny because she was like repping crypto like it was going to go to $300,000 this year was her prediction. She was so wrong. I got to look at MU, then I'll look at that Cipla Pharma. Hood looking good. It could go up. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, if it can break, like I said, if it can break that 88 level, man, it's looking nice to maybe go up to 100. Like, I mean, that's, and then look, and you got to play it level to level. I don't like to sit there and say, if it breaks 100, it'll go to the next level. Like, I mean, that's a long way away. I mean, you can play that game the entire way through, right? So, I mean, maybe it does go up there, but I mean, I just want to give like the local levels really. Okay, Micron's not looking too bad right here, which you want to be careful of, right? Because look, here's the thing. We've established that I want to keep this real simple. That's the daily high. That's your daily swing high. That's your daily swing low. If you break that, you're back into price discovery. Your uptrend is continued. It is saved. There's no breach, right? If you lose this low without, let's say it just rolls over, doesn't decide to break that, that is a daily market structure shift. That's probably going to result in a bigger move down. I would say maybe down to this level here. So I'm giving you the bearish first. All right, so if you lose that, you're probably coming down to around 265. That'll be like a daily market structure shift. You could come up here and double top. You could do a lower high. You could even sweep it slightly higher, then still lose it and come down. It would still result probably about the same. But look, if this thing does do this, right? Maybe the trend right now is up. As long as the trend stays up, as long as it's doing this, right? There's no reason to get bearish. That's all. Just do that. Let it keep doing that. When it stops doing that, then you start to worry. You can even draw the trend out if you really want to have like an accurate trend, not my squigglies. I'm just illustrating it, but like that's a clean trend right there. So just chill. But you are coming to all-time highs, so expect resistance up there. Yeah, let's go look at Cipla Farms. Hey, Gene, I'll tell you what. If you go look, we have a YouTube, Tactical Edge Trading Academy. You can actually find all the links to everything at our website, tacticaledgetraders.com. Go over to the YouTube. The video is recorded, dude. You can just go look back at it. You can literally copy the levels if you want. I mean, I don't know. I just don't want to keep going over the same ones because I do that literally. You know, I do hood every single time I TA. I TA like 4 or 5 times a week. I do lives like 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and I'm doing hood almost every single time. So it's, I'll say it once with those ones. If it was a big one like gold or SM SPY, maybe I'll go back into it. But if I did that for every one, I would have to do them. It would just take forever. We'd never get everybody's requests, unfortunately. Not trying to be a dick. I was just trying to bring you into my thinking. Anyway, look, you're at weekly support right here. I mean, you're at 1300s weekly support. Let's just round it up, right? You swept this low. You're starting to print some green candles with a little bit of a chop, right? See this area up here, right? Just take a look right up there. You see how the price moves really quickly once you lose that low? If you start to bounce here, you're probably going to move up just as fast. Look back here. You moved up pretty quickly. Pretty quickly right there. So this could serve as a little bit of a bounce spot. Let's go take a look at a little bit on the, oof. I should have looked at the daily before I said all the bullish side. So the weekly looks okay, right? Let's just go down to the daily now. Daily doesn't look as great. Looks a little bit rougher. I don't want to say worse, but I'm like, look. Also, guys, when you if you're interested in trading in TA, follow, subscribe, hit the like. Check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com. Join the Discord. Check out our website. It's got free courses on teach you how to trade. And if you're watching and you watch our lives. We stream 6 days a week. And we'll teach you this stuff for free. We'll teach you what's worked for us, what we found in the market that doesn't work. We'll tell you. We'll try to help you with that stuff. So anyway, let me mark this as a gap. So look, this is a CME gap. There is a good target for price to eventually head up to. So right now it kind of looks almost like a bear flag, right? I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. It's looking a little bear flag-ishy. The way it's chopping up, slow, methodical. I would imagine volume might be down on this thing right now. It is. See how volume's kind of fading, but price is chopping slow and lethargic. That's usually a sign of like a weak bounce. So I'd watch this trend, 2, watch this low at around 1300. You want to hold this level. If it can start managing to gain a little bit of strength, starts to make its way up, right? Continues up. This gap from 1400 up to like 1410 is going to serve as resistance. And this is a daily level, so this is going to take some time to get up there. So if you get up to that gap, look, there's a chance maybe you bust through and you go up. I mean, there's a chance you get back up here to back test this area around 1455. I don't think it all happens in one pass. But look, at any point this thing starts to roll over and starts to break trend, I mean, it's probably going to be downside. And because look, it's just, it's looking weak, man. It's just looking weak. the way it is. Like you could see like this impulse down, bear flag out, impulse down. Like what's the next thing that's going to happen? It's starting to look like a bear flag. It's like, ugh. Like if it happened before, you know what I mean? Trend is down now. Like you have to kind of think the same thing. But we're at support, so maybe it'll catch a little bid. We'll see. But those are your levels. Never heard of Cipla? I don't know what that is either. Somebody asked for it. She missed the whole move up to 150. She just bought. I also saw a Discord about something that got implemented in TradingView, that like an indicator or something, or a new cryptocurrency. I don't know. Is there something new with TradingView? There's always something new with TradingView. They're always doing some pretty good updates. They added Delta volume candles into their you can actually now use Delta in TradingView. You have to pay for it, like it's an upgrade, but it's pretty legit. I mean, Ben used it. I think he still does, or he might actually use something else for Delta, but I think he uses TradingView. He loves it, man, because you can see trap traders. They're all a little different. There's a lot of different things you could pay for. I see RDDT in here, so I'm going to go check that one out. Also, I appreciate everybody hanging out, being cool, showing support. If you like, if you came in on me a little bit earlier, I was kind of giving the troll. I was trolling the trolls for a little bit. It was kind of funny. Dude, this thing's been down forever, dude. Reddit's been getting smashed. Was there FUD on Reddit or something? Well, yeah, there's definitely FUD on Reddit. There's always FUD on Reddit. What am I talking about? All right, so look, the most significant low, I'm going to take it to the weekly so you can kind of get a bigger picture of what I'm talking about right now. Sorry, I got a notification. Let's make sure it's not cool. So look, this low right here, it looks like you took it out and you SFP'd it, right? That's the first thing my eye kind of gets drawn to as a trader, right? You're thinking this low right there. So it was a significant, it was where we took off. I mean, back in July of 2025. I mean, before this big impulsive wave up. So there's a lot of stack liquidity up here. A lot of people think about it just like this. And this is how, once you understand this about trading gets a lot easier. The why. Why come all the way down here? What's here? Well, think about this. All those people that thought, hey, I'm going to go long, right? Oh, this thing's hot. I'm going to go long here. They start buy, right? That's why you could see it gapped up, because people got excited. Like when they were buying, like it was just hot. Everyone's like, let's go. It's running. And then it starts to top out. And then you could see it's the opposite. They come all the way back down, and everybody who went long right here, guess what's happening to them? They're all getting squeezed out. It's a long squeeze. And guess what? They went for everybody all the way down to those people who even got in down here, who thought they're probably safe the entire time. So that's what the market likes to do, and that's why you're getting a reaction down here. So what we call an SFP, swing failure pattern. It's a liquidity grab. They go and grab liquidity to move in, so bigger orders can get filled. And it looks like it's bouncing right now. So, I mean, on the 4-hour, it looks like an inverse head and shoulders. You're at support. You have a SFP, which we just talked about and explained why it happens, how it happens. And look, I mean, think about it. Like this, where would that take us to, right? Let's go do a little measured move. Check out my studio. Hold on 1 second. They want a verification. Sure thing. When you're on TikTok streaming, every once in a while, they'll actually ask you to go do a little puzzle, like one of those CAPTCHA puzzles, to make sure you're still alive or you're not a bot. I guess they're having issues with bots. So, I don't know if anybody cared, but I'm telling you. Anyways, so look, you got this high right here. Kind of lines up with the measured move of this inverse head and shoulders if this thing does play out. So I would imagine, and that takes you somewhere into this gap, right? So what we just did there, everything you just saw, and I'm doing this step by step so you can learn as well. This is not just me doing TA, just to do it. Like I'm trying to be teach those who actually want to listen, because I have people from my Discord that actually tune into these things, and they're here to learn. So I have to keep it educational. So if anybody's just trying to get levels and stuff like that, we're not really the channel for that. But we do give levels too. So I mean, we do that as well, but it's not like our primary purpose. But yeah, man, look at this. I mean, it gets up to this level. That's a nice area. You got that CME gap we talked about, right? Maybe it pushes up a little higher, 177. So I'd say you break this neckline. Like the real level to break is 152. If you break 152, I think you got a shot back up here, 172, maybe back up to 180. And then look, in the short term, you have support, right? You got this 137, which we established why it was support. It was that low. It was that low before that big impulse up back last year. And that was in Q4, I think. And you got this local trend on the 4-hour, right? So keep track of all these. Know you're at resistance. If you lose this trend, you have support down here at 137. And if you lose that, then you're probably coming down a little bit further. You start looking to the next level, which is probably down here around $100, $95. So that's Reddit, guys. But so far, so good. But remember, look, man, don't get caught. Like, guys, and this is the one advice I'm going to give to people. This is in a downtrend now. It is now established a weekly downtrend. Low, lower, high. This right here was the market structure shift. Normally, these things will come back. Sometimes they'll push past this level right here, that last swing low. Sometimes they'll push a little bit past. But if it puts a lower high in, this is a confirmed downtrend. This is how they play out. Just kind of like how I was drawing that out. Sorry. So don't get suckered in. That's all I'm saying. No matter what this thing does, the only time this gets invalidated is this gets taken out on a higher time frame. Like to invalidate this market structure shift, you have to take out that high at 260, 265. And that's a big task. Like that's in right now is the market right now. I mean, I don't think many small individual stocks are going to do that. There'll be some gems out there, but I'm not like finding them. So gaps usually do get filled, man. And they do usually get filled within like a few days. Within like the first couple days of being created. It's surprising that some of them last so long. This is the wildest YouTube I've ever seen, layout wise, with the chat overlaying covering the entire screen. Yeah, I don't know, dude. If you're watching on your phone, that's why, dude. Yeah, if you're watching on your phone, if you have it zoomed in on your screen, you don't have the option of like actually like moving the chat. You have to turn the chat off if you're like watching chat. It goes right on top of the TA. You have to like watch it out of the Zoom so you can have the option to type in chat. Otherwise, it's not gonna get the full effect. I know. I noticed that too. Can't be perfect, man. I'm trying. So yeah, that's Reddit, guys. What trading app do you use? You mean like TradingView? It's TradingView. That's what I'm doing TA on right now. I mean, if you mean like an exchange or like a broker, that's a different question. You just have to clarify a little bit. I was thinking, yeah. You have to. How do you accidentally leave a short open? I've done that before. It wasn't really by accident. I didn't put a stop loss in. But I've done that actually on gold. I won't be honest with you, dude. The last time I did the NQ, look, it's looking like it's gonna pop back up to this 25,400 at least to test this level. It just looks bullish, dude. I'll be honest. It's poised for a little pump up. I think you're gonna get a little pop probably Monday. Maybe. I mean, it's not really popped after hours, so I mean, you're probably gonna get a little pop to retest back up here and see what happens. But if it breaks that level, dude, it's probably going back up to 26,000. So just be mindful. 25,360 is like, that's major resistance. That's all I'm going to say. My Netflix bags are as heavy as, That's what's up, man. You're stocking up on fucking Netflix? Hell yeah, bro. He's been saying that to other trader streamers, by the way. What's he been saying? Spy puts? Did Spy's looking? Like, look, Spy's just in a range, man. I don't... It's going to break out of the range at some point. I mean, it's going to pick a direction, right? Your high, the high of the range is 7,000. The low of the range is around 6780. You start losing 6780, it's coming down. If it breaks 7,000, it's going to continue up. I think there's more signs pointing towards downside, which builds a downside bias for me. But I wouldn't say go short. I mean, it could run all the way back up to the highs. Like, it's right in the middle of the range, though. So, like, this is like could do anything, man. But, I mean, it's pushing up. It is pushing up right now. You put for September 30th, I see. So, I mean, but, like, dude, I think by September 30th, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in September, dude. Like, this thing probably at some point, we were talking about it last time, like, historically, April through May are usually really bad months for the stock market. So, like, if it was going to pull back, those would be really good months for it to start pulling back. Where it's at in September is really tough call. Depends on what, I guess, the country looks like, how severe, if we do have, like, a big downside move, how severe it is. Like, that'll determine the recovery and, like, all that stuff. Yeah, bro. Range trading I love range trading. Like, literally all I'm waiting for, I caught this long, by the way. I did. It wasn't an easy long to catch because we didn't sweep liquidity on SPY, but, like, we did sweep a little bit, I guess, right there. But I caught it when it broke right here and it back tested, and I caught that little long right there. But I closed out. I'm actually really, really looking for this, right? I actually have limit orders to start building a short, like a small short. Right up here, I have like a starter position. It's like 10% position of what I want to put in there, in case it does one of these really fast, and then just closes. Sometimes they'll wick up really quickly, but what I'm really looking for is this: to come up here, take this liquidity up here, back down, retest this, and then I load up short here. And then ride it all the way back down to the bottom of the range. And look, this is how I like the range trades. This is still support. I'll never enter a trade here thinking this is going to be the short of a lifetime. It's going to go all the way down 10% or whatever the hell, you know. I take it down to here. I take probably like at least 70-80% of my profits out down here. And maybe if I feel like, hey, this is actually looking like it might break through, I leave a little runner, like 20% in there. To see if it goes a little bit lower. But that's how I trade. Sorry, I'm getting like a bunch of notifications. But yeah, that's kind of what would be my plan. I mean, but like, yeah, if it loses the slow, dude, this thing coming down to 6,500. I've been saying that for a while. I actually want to build a swing short, but I haven't been able to find a good broker to do it on. That's not going to charge me an ass ton to hold the trade forever. I'm just like nervous about holding stocks for like multiple months. Like crypto, like you get fucking raped by the exchanges. You can't hold things for multi-month. I mean, you can hold spot positions, but like shorting, you have to actually like borrow from someone and to sell. So options are probably a lot easier if you're looking like a put. Will be a lot easier than to hold longer because it's just a contract. You pay one price. I mean, it has the gamma is what it's called. The decay. Yeah, I do. Billy, I do trading, and I have some side businesses I've built. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, like I used to work 9 to 5. I mean, Ben's full-time trading. Ben doesn't. I don't know if he has like some secret side business, but Ben and Nick are both 100% full-time traders too. And there's a couple people in our group that are like almost there. They're like getting to that level. And we have people like, you know, still learning, and their goal is to become full-time traders. So, but yeah, guys, hit that like, subscribe, follow. We do live content 6 days a week, and we have free courses on our website, tacticaledgetraders.com. Check out our Discord. Links are all in the bio description. You're going to find all that stuff. Sorry, guys. I want to just check something real quick. Yeah, what's up, online class? Nebius? What's the ticker? Is it the same thing as MBIS, or is it different? Let me see what Nebius is. Oh, yeah, okay. Same thing. I got you. Yeah, I could take a look at this one. All right, so we did some TA on it right before, right? We said this. We said it was in an uptrend. It hit resistance. It failed to break. We lost trend. We said we're probably coming back down here. We came back down here. We said if this can hold, we're looking for a push up. What did it do? Actually just pushed up, then back tested, then ran up. So the support held. And now you're back at what? Resistance. So we just talked about this. What do you do in a range? Trade a resistance to support the resistance, man. If it breaks this level, then yeah, you look up to the next level around 134. But for now, you're at resistance around anywhere from 103 up to maybe 108 is like going to serve as resistance. At most, maybe, like, look, it didn't take liquidity, so I don't really know if it's even done yet. Maybe they're still going to push back up because, like, what really solidify it for me is that they took that. So they go up, take that liquidity there, and then bang, bring it back down. But they didn't do that, so maybe they're setting it up for something, another sweep. So that's the one thing, like, my little trader intuition tells me when liquidity's not grabbed. Sometimes I'm like a little suspicious, you know what I mean? It's like spidey senses. You're still on trend on the 4 hour, right? So you see you got trend. You're developing a trend. So you're still going up. And you're just below resistance. So maybe it does come back up here and attack this high here around 110. So I'd watch 110. I'm going to shift this up for you so you just can visualize what I'm talking about. No, that's not even a line. Right there. Boom. So look at that level for resistance. And you can just watch this trend. Because look at the last time we lost this trend on the 4 hour, right? Boom. Crash down into that resistance. So maybe the same thing happens. I don't know. Just saying. But yeah, Nebius, that's Nebius. This just guessing at this point. I'm giving you scenarios, dude. I'm like, this is resistance. What happens at resistance? I'm not going to teach you how to trade. I'm not going to be like, hey, take a long right here, bro. I mean, look, you're waiting. This is what trading is. This is what analysis is. I can't tell you what the market's going to do. Nobody can tell you. We can present scenarios, areas of interest. We're like, okay, if price approaches this level, we'll look for a reaction. When the reaction happens, we'll make a decision. What could those reactions be? Bang, bang, A, B, or C. Okay, well, if A happens when we hit that level, guess what? I'm going to take a short if this, and this checks off. That's fucking trading, dude. 100% that's trading. That's all it is. It's not me saying, well, price is going to do this. And then you're going to look for the lower high here, and you're going to look for this, and you're going to look for this exact level right here, and you're going to go, no, it's not that, dude. Anybody tells you that shit's bullshit. But, like, you can look for patterns that you've seen, like, hey, if this breaks trend, and we get a back test to confirm that, hey, this trend is not going to break back into, I can look for a short here because I have a system that tells me I like breakout retest. It's a reversal, or a reversal continuation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has a trading strategy. That's mine. That's what I look for. So that's how I analyze markets. I analyze it the way I see it. And like I said, trading is probability. It's all about what if this, then that. Like, it's not about telling you exactly because nobody knows because there's so many variables that can affect the market that nobody really can accurately predict it. It's like the weather. Fucking weathermen are getting it wrong all the time, yet they're fucking so respected. And there's no school for trading, by the way. You gotta learn this shit on your own. But yeah, it's in a range, dude. Just treat it like a range. Wait, the devil is returning soon? What does that mean, dude? He said Jesus is coming back. He said, let me guess, this is your 3rd year of trading. Nah, it's not my 3rd year, bro. It's like my 6th year? 6th year? Been profitable for 4. It took me 2 years to get profitable. I'll tell you that much. I lost a lot of money. And I still lose money here and there. I don't like not profitable every day. I lose money on trades, just like everybody. It's just I don't do as much stupid things as I used to do that used to make me lose a shit ton of money. Now I protect my capital a little bit more. Greatness. Dude, I mean, look, there's no such thing as... That's what I mean, dude. Look, Bandit, I don't know if you're a real trader or not. I mean, you've been kind of throwing little jabs at me here and there. So, like, maybe you're testing me. I'm not sure. Or maybe your style is different than mine. You think, maybe just one of those people that think, your style is the best and it's the only one or the right way. I'm a little more open-minded. I like to think that, things that may work for someone else may not work for me, and things that work for me may not work for somebody else. But I know I win more than I lose through a combination of risk management and rule sets and the strategy that I've proven through back testing and proven through years of just execution, countless trades, that it works. Doesn't work 100% of the time, but it works a decent amount, more than it loses. How much have I made from trading? I mean, I'm not gonna throw numbers out there, dude. I mean, I make a living. I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't have to go like, I have enough money to trade every day so I can pay my bills. I have like an average guy's lifestyle, you know what I mean? I'm not like rich or anything like that, but I'm building. The whole point of I invest a lot of my money. A lot of my money goes into like my businesses over time and stuff like that, because I'm trying to like think long term. If I went 100% into straight into trading, I think maybe I can grow my account a little faster. But when you're living off your account, like, that's, to be 100% honest with you, if you're living off your money and you're able to put money aside as well and build your account and still live off of it, then you're doing good. And if maybe your account grows 10% a year, and it's not as much as like somebody who's aggressively putting their money back in and reinvesting it and growing the account and compounding it, but like, it's still a decent amount of growth, and it's still an achievement to be able to like know that like you can go out there and hunt for yourself. Like, I don't need somebody to go like, I don't have to go file for, a job and go interview and do all that shit and just chill. See what the market gives me, and then, if the trade's there, I take it. If I make money, I do. If the trade didn't work out, as long as I follow my rules, that's great. If I didn't, then I have to, I have to figure it out. I have to go correct it for the next time. So, but yeah, I mean, that's Nebius, guys. I want to go look at some other stuff. Yeah, dude, if you're 14, you got to wait till you're a little older, brother. I am an active trader, yes. When Bitcoin was at 125K, Tom Lee said it was going to 250K. He definitely did, dude. I saw it, like, and he's so quiet right now. He's so quiet. I just, when you do stuff like that as a public, look, me, I'm fucking Joe Schmo. Nobody knows who I am. I can sit there and be like, yeah, I bought this today, and no one's going to care. But if you're on the fucking news and like you have like millions and millions of dollars, like and you're saying this is what we're buying because we think it's going to go to this price, like, you're suckering a lot of people into following you. So it's not yourself. You're not just sinking yourself. You're sinking other people. I love the ride. Shitcoins 10x. Jesus Christ, brother. Hitachi. I could look at Hitachi. I was waiting for somebody on YouTube to give me something to look at. By the way, guys, I'll follow, subscribe, like. Check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com. Free. Hitachi. Is there a number with it? 6305. Damn, dude, you're like giving me numbers too? Is it this one? Am I looking at the wrong? Oh, 60. Jesus Christ. There's different ones. Hitachi. Yeah, I see it right there. Okay. Jesus. Did you catch this? Where'd you get in at, man? Nah, I don't trade Forex, man. I've like looked at pairings like, JPY USD, and I've made calls on it because like it affects like, it affects the overall market. Like when the whole Japan carry trade thing was happening, which is still happening, by the way. If you guys aren't informed, it hasn't gone away. So I watch those things that, But like, I don't actually trade Forex because I just don't really want to. I don't know. I like trading crypto. I trade crypto, I trade gold, and I trade like NASDAQ and NASDAQ and S&P. Like, I don't really like go into any two individual stocks. I will take swing trades on stocks, but like day trading, I keep it to those couple, man. I keep it like, this is my, like, you know, my go-tos. And if there's no trades on any of them, I'm not hunting. That's it. I go home for the day. But yeah, everybody has a different thing, man. Trade what you like. I just trade things that I know fit my risk, tolerance. I like a little bit of volatility, but I also don't like it to be a super low cap anymore when I'm day trading. I used to do that, but I'm starting to get away from it. I mean, altcoins were hot, dude. I was taking 10x plays on some Ondo and shit like that. I was doing some wild stuff. I was making a lot of money too, but also when I lost, it hurt. Wasn't like just straight up winning the money going like winning the lottery over here. You're in an uptrend. I mean, it's clear you're in an uptrend on this thing. I just want to get like the width of see what this is right here. So it's like a symmetrical triangle, right? Or an ascending triangle. These ascending triangles, when they break out, let's look at it on a monthly. Monthly will actually look a little cleaner. Okay, right. So it's actually bigger than that. It's like so I mean, yeah, dude, this thing is probably gonna run up way higher than this. I mean, fuck, it broke all time like highs from back in Jesus. I mean, yeah, get rid of this. This means nothing. This could just go way further back. I thought that was the high. Should have probably zoomed out a little bit more. I mean, yeah, dude. 51.44 is your floor now. That's what I would imagine. If you're going to be bullish, if this thing's going to hold, it's going to hold that level there. I mean, more locally, there's nothing I can really tell on this thing, dude. I couldn't tell you where this is going to go. I would say you're close to your closest whole number is 7,000. You blew right through 6,000. You made no attempt. I would say locally, though, like in the short term, if you were to pull back, even if you were to consolidate, right, you do have a gap underneath right here. So this is the only thing I could say. You just watch for this here. See if that holds. If that doesn't hold, which is like a CME gap, by the way. If that doesn't hold, like maybe it does this, fills this gap, and then continues up, right? That's a possibility if it's really bullish. But if it starts to pull back, man, you're looking down here. You're looking down at this level right here. Around 54.49, 54. Because like, look, see how fast price moved up here? If it loses this is like the last bit of support right here, I would imagine. You're probably going to shoot right back down here. So look for some type of consolidation. It hasn't really rejected yet, so. But yeah, I really have a target on this one, man. I guess maybe once let it form a little bit more. Maybe if it starts to form a bull flag, we can take a measured move. But we don't really have too much data right now to go off of on that. So yeah, I know. I don't really like fib extensions though, dude. I know how to pull them. So what he's saying is basically pull a fib extension. But like, look, if I pull this fib extension from here and I pull from here, right? I'll get numbers from all these different levels. Like, all right, let me go here. Look, I'm gonna pop this one out. These are the two I like to use. So right, you're hitting this level here. But get what I'm saying right now. I can't pull another fib extension. Like I can go like this and say, okay, next fib extension is this, right? But who's to say that this is not going to form its own swing low? You know what I'm saying? Like, so like this thing could come down here and form a swing low, just like this was a swing low. And we're pulling from here. Because technically I could pull from here. This is a swing low too, right? Right here. So like that's the trouble you run into when you start to get fib extensions. Because then it becomes like a guessing game of what fib we're pulling from. Because then you got people pulling fibs from different levels. And it's all about this at the end of the day. It's all about who's looking at what level. Because someone's buying there. Someone has to be buying, someone has to be selling. So it's you want the place where the most eyes are going. And not a lot of people use fib extensions. What indicator? I haven't even pulled up an indicator yet. No indicators. Everything I've been using have been tools. My indicators are down here, which I haven't even mentioned once. I haven't looked at any divergences, but yeah, this is just 6305 is what it's called, Hitachi. So yeah, that's all I'm seeing on that one, dude. How do you trade news? Dude, I usually don't trade news, JV Joe. I'll be honest with you, dude. News trading is dangerous. And the reason it's dangerous is because you never really know the reaction the market's going to really have. I don't trade before it because you don't know like how things are going to pan out. And if you trade like at the break of the news, there's a lot of fake outs. So usually what I'll do is I'll wait like 15 to 20 minutes, maybe a half hour after an event to see if the market's digested. Let's say it happens at 8:30 in the morning, like PCE. The market doesn't open till 9:30 anyway, so it happens an hour before market opens this morning. So I wouldn't have even touched a trade until at least 9:30, and most times I don't even trade until like 10 o'clock. I won't even take a trade till then, because the first couple hours, like especially after like a news event, there's a lot of like manipulation, because people are panicking, people are trying to like assume what's happening, they get stopped out. So the market makers have a field day. They have a reason, that they have an excuse to be able to move the markets. So honestly, I really don't even bother with it. End of the day, I just wait. Like if it's happening at 8:30, which most of the big news events happen at 8:30, my trading doesn't start till 9:30. So I just wait till my trading time. And if it's like a random news event, like a fucking like let's say a bomb, like God forbid, a bomb goes off this weekend, I'm not gonna go pick my computer up and start trading. I just don't do it. I always wait for the markets to cool off. It's the best advice I can give you, because I tried trading news and you can get hurt, man. Volatility's high. People are scared. You never know what's gonna happen. I'm sorry to hear that, Kent. Why are you in a bad spot? Are you long or short, ETH? I can go look at ETH if you want to look at ETH. I'll look at NVIDIA next, and I can look at TME, guys. I got you. Go have fun. You got to go look back in like the first or second, like the first 5 minutes of this video. If you look back, I did AMD already. I did a pretty good analysis on it. There's not much to really say on AMD. You're long at 3,000. Oh, Jesus, dude, you're still holding. All right, bro. Look, I'm gonna break some news to you. We're in a bear market. And I don't want to be the one to tell you. It's like a kid. It's like a dad telling his kid that there's no Santa Claus. So I'm like kind of breaking it to you. I've been there before, dude. I've been there before. This was me last cycle. I was holding, still thinking that we were, like there's a chance. What I'd recommend to you, if you haven't sold yet, the next significant bounce we get, probably get out, man. Not a bad idea to just get your money back and just wait for next cycle. Wait for later this year. Just wait for October 5th. 1 year from when the top of the cycle, when Bitcoin topped, just give it 1 year and wait for that, and then see what the market looks like. Definitely stay out of altcoins. But look, dude, let's say, look, it's not even looking great right now on the daily. I mean, you're still consolidating here. I'm not really a big fan of what's happening on ETH. ETH looks a lot weaker in strength compared to like Bitcoin. Because like if you're looking at Bitcoin, right? See how Bitcoin looks like it's clean downtrend and broken? Structure on the 4-hour broken. When I go look at ETH, what's ETH doing? Hasn't even broken 4-hour structure. It's just steady downtrend. So that right there doesn't make me feel too great about it for anything on the higher time frames. But what I will say is that, look, if you can break this level here, you got a little bit of a downtrend kind of starting to form, maybe like a little bit of a consolidation, right? If you break trend and you start to break this high at 2100, there's a chance you get back up to 2600, maybe in this area. I'm not trying to throw hopium at you, brother. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying then there's a potential that this happens. It's a low volume gap. How does that even happen? It lines up a little bit with BTC probably doing the same, where it breaks this high. Let's say it goes to the range high and it breaks above this and starts to attack 80K, which is the next significant high on the daily. You'll probably see ETH potentially follow suit and maybe go up and attack. But the problem is ETH's next high after it breaks this high at 2100 is not up to about 3000. With the way ETH looks right now, with the strength, it's very unlikely, in my opinion, that it gets up there. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm saying. But I think this is a more probable if we can break back above 2100 and establish above that. But again, we're in a bear market, dude. So, like, just you got to figure something out for yourself. Like, you know, if you're willing to hold it through until next cycle, you know, that could be 3 years of pain. I don't know. You can answer that question for yourself. Nah, I've never heard of Christian Quagmire. Garrett says ETH to 1K. Might go lower than that, Garrett. I trade futures, Joe. That's pretty much all I trade. I trade on BitFi and I trade on BTCC. I've traded on every freaking crypto exchange. I used to trade on Mexi. I used to trade on fucking. I never traded on Binance, though. I'll say that much. I'm proud to say that, by the way. I've traded on fucking dude, BitGet, Bybit. Bybit's such a ripoff. Oh, I fucking hate Bybit. Even ones I can't even remember. And Dexes too. I've traded on Dexes before too. Oh, what's up, Anuki? What if it never comes back like Peloton? Someone asked for Palantir earlier. Let me go look at that real fast. My bad. I did see that. So Palantir, I'm going to give you the gist of it. I'm going to give you the higher time frame. All right? Head and Shoulders called that one out a while back. We lost the neckline. I said if it lost the neckline, you're looking for the back test, which what we're seeing right now is the back test. It hasn't rejected yet, but it's trying. It's working its way up. So maybe up to 150, maybe a little higher, but as long as it doesn't really like, you know, the idea is you don't want to start like, because then I start to like, is this really a adverse head and shoulders? So I would be cool with something like this if it came back up here, maybe a little higher than that. That would be nice for like a short for me. It could still run all the way up here and then still dump down, but that like is a harder play for me to try to take a trade. So like what I'm saying is like I still think it's coming down. Ultimately, I think the trend is down. You have a weekly market structure shift. High, swing low, lower high, right? You lost that low, market structure shift. The next lower high, whether it's here, as long as it's below that, it's going to be the back test. And that will be the confirmation signal for a lot of traders to go short. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on Palantir. I would say probably 149 is your resistance. And I would say if it breaks 149, then you open up the gates to maybe 170. Potentially back up to 170, 166. So, Alec. Yo, Alec. Who's... I did Netflix already, Alec. I'll look at it again, but it's going to be a quick one. If you really want a good analysis on it, just rewind back. I have it. It's in here. So look, it's downtrending, dude. This is it. This is your life right now. If you're in Netflix, you're in a downtrend. It's been downtrending for a while. You're bear flagging out. Resistance 82. Support 70. This trend is also dynamic resistance, so it'll like you could pop up here and still come down. But if you break and you start to flip levels, then you flip my tune. You start to flip bullish. We look at things at one level at a time. But for now, I think the target's around 70. All right, that's Netflix. I'm gonna probably jump from that one because I don't really want to talk about Netflix anymore, guys. I talked about it today. It's depressing, dude. I like Netflix. Do you hold scalps? I do. I would say 90% of my trading right now at this exact moment is scalping, but I alter. I do like to swing trade. I like to trade on the 4 hour for like medium time frame. I say short to medium, so it's probably like 2-3 days long, sometimes a week. And I like to trade on the daily sometimes too. If it's a really good market or really in a strong trend, I'll pop on the daily and I'll hold something for a few weeks. But then I'll trade scalping, like day trading in between that too. So it's not just like sitting and doing nothing. I'm actually trading as well. So yeah, I mean, it's like, it is what it is. Like, I don't really like try to identify as a scalper or a swing trader. I'm like a dynamic. Whatever the market's giving me, I do. They were letting WB go to Paramount. You're thinking bullish next week? I'm thinking like 50-50, dude. I'm thinking like part of the week's going to be bullish, and I think the other half's going to be us dumping. I think we're going to get a couple days of upside. And I think it's just to trap some traders before they send it down. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we just flip bullish and just run up forever. What are you looking for? Penwa. By the way, guys, if you're not following, follow us on TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit that like. Check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com. We're a trading group. We have free courses been put together on that website, and you can join our Discord for free. And you can talk to other traders, real traders. Do this. We trade live, all that fun stuff. So check us out. I think I might got like one or two more charts in me, guys, and I think I'm hitting my limit for the day. My eyes are a little tired. I was fucking long day. That's all I'm gonna say. So you're coming to support here on this PA and Palo Alto. What is this? Networks. So there's your support, right? Somewhere around this 145, 144 level. If you deviate below that, you have a little bit of support kind of sticking here around this 132. Right? But because you've been trading in this range for so long, right? I think this might, if this starts to really break, this might kind of like open up for a bigger move down, maybe to this level here is what I'm seeing. See what I mean? Because like it was a trend. We were trending off for quite a bit of time, right? And at some point that trend, somewhere around here, there it is. Drawing kind of retarded. At some point this trend broke, and usually when trends break, they usually come back and take a lot of the liquidity that start within that trend. It's all built up liquidity that's left behind, stop losses, that kind of stuff. So they'll come back for a lot of this, and like they could bring it all the way down if they really want to. I've seen a lot of times full sweeps of trends. So, well, this is a good level here for me. I think like 108, 110. Just seems like there's a lot of reasons for that level to make sense. And hey, look, we haven't lost support yet. So if 144, like that level holds, you're good. No reason, you know. But like, look, realistically, you need to get back above this high to get bullish on the higher time frames, around almost 200 basically, 195, and then you have this trend. So maybe you'll get a back test, and then that'll be a testing point to see whether you're going to go bullish or whether it's going to continue down. So it'll make a decision. But for now, we'll see what happens. Amazon to upside. We did look at Amazon, but Amazon didn't look too bad, did it? Wait, I gotta remember this one. Yeah, no, we gave a good analysis on Amazon. Yeah, I said Amazon has a potential. Said it was sitting underneath the gap. It was starting to kind of push up in. Yeah, I said, but it has resistance, you know, around 215. So, can you actually use charts to help predict earnings? Nah, dude. I mean, here's what I can tell you about the charts. There's a little bit of like a pattern, but it's, again, this is not like an exact science. It's not a fact. If, and you can back test this, go back to the Fed, anytime that we've had a Fed rate cut decision, FOMC day, watch price action going into FOMC day. I'll show you. Fuck that. I'm going to show you now. Let's go find the last FOMC day. When was that? It was like 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? No, it was a couple weeks back. It was back in just January, wasn't it? Let me go type that in Google. No, I don't care about March. January 27th, 28th. Okay. All right, so we're looking back at January 27th, 28th. You can already see what's happening here, right? All right, so you kind of catching the picture. So, right there. So, into this date right here, essentially into this date, what was price action generally doing? Or just to show a line. Now, this is a very important day to know because FOMC day is one of the most volatile events you can get in the markets as a trader. It's rate cut decisions. U.S. is the biggest market globally. There's no argument to that. That's a fact. Just had the most trading volume, biggest market. Price was trending up generally into a big news event. What happened as the news event got closer? Yeah, we had some volatility down here the day of, right? We kind of crashed a little bit, kind of going into it, but we were pumping up. But basically, generally going up into it, and then after the news event, we dumped. So usually the direction you're heading in, these things tend to be pivots. The market uses a pivot. So if you're going generally up, rallying into it, it's usually like a buy the rumor, sell the news is the saying that the people like to use. So you can kind of, but like I wouldn't just trade off that alone is what I'm trying to get to. I'm going to go look at Oracle real quick. By the way, guys, if you're watching, subscribe, hit that like, follow us. We do this kind of content, live TA, about 6 days a week. It's myself and Ben. Ben is awesome. He's probably one of the best traders I've ever met. Hands down, that man, he can kill. Like, I don't think anybody trades in New York the way he trades it. So, yeah, he's in the Discord. You can, you guys want to join? You can join for free. You can meet Ben. You can meet Nick. Both wonderful traders. A decade between each of them in trading. They teach me stuff still. So you can meet those guys, talk to them, see what they're about. And you can learn right from Ben if you want to check out his courses on the website. So Oracle's in a downtrend, guys. Look, 345 down to 118. This is the support. This is what I got marked off. This is what I think is probably next. I mean, this was, all right, remember when I talked about that trend thing, right? When trends break, what happens? You usually come back and do the sweep, right? Well, we lost, we trend line up, broke, and now we're coming back to fill that up, to grab the rest of the liquidity. So, I mean, look, as long as we're beneath this trend here that we're under, the target's still down here. And that's just the target for now. We'll see what happens when it gets there, but I'd say 118, 119. I'd say your trend is your resistance, and like to the short term, I think you have resistance around 165. But I think downside is probably more likely here. Maybe when we get down here, we reassess it and see what happens. It has too much leverage with OpenAI for me to touch. Yeah, dude, I mean, Oracle's rough. A lot of these things, it's just AI is rough right now. I wouldn't touch AI. I think Ben was talking about that a few weeks ago. More than a few weeks ago, he was talking about AI is like, he's like, AI is done. Like, no one's touching that shit. So, Soundhound? What's up, Merc? I'll check out Soundhound for you. It's about 10. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap it up after this one. I did say like 3 or 4 charts ago I was going to stop after the next 2. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my night, man. I just want to jump on, catch up with you guys, kind of just get a little catch up. Just to recap for anybody who's tuning in right now who didn't hear the beginning when I first started streaming, big events to watch out for. Iran tensions with the U.S. Watch for bombing stuff. Watch for any news of anything, any attacks, any like ceasefires, any like anything that happens this weekend, you got to pay attention if you're in the markets. It's going to affect the gold's running up. I showed that in the beginning of the stream. Very important. Another thing that's going to get affected by that is oil. If you're in oil, watch out this weekend. It's very risky time to be in certain things. That's why you see people flocking to gold in general. We had PCE and GDP came in today for the U.S. Core PCE basically is like the number one indicator that the Fed uses to determine inflation. So it's not good. It went up. It was supposed to come in at 3.0, which is still going to be a higher reading than the previous month. It came in at 4.0. So it came out hotter than expected. So that's not good. Not good for the markets because the markets want rate cuts. We want cheaper money. And right now you can see we're not getting it, and the markets are reacting to it. Just like in general, like, like not today, obviously, but what's really set the markets off, that's why we're seeing a little bit of a pump, is because the tariffs got overturned today. So that's the last bit of news just to kind of keep an eye on. So Donald Trump's not happy about that. He's made that clear, but that's why we're seeing the market rally in the short term. So don't get punked by the market. Don't let this shit, fool you into thinking that we're running up. I do think we're in a bear market, and a lot of people would agree with me. And a lot of people will disagree. And that's how bear markets are formed. You have two sides. At one point, not everybody can be right. And by the time the last people that actually flip, that's probably when the bull market's going to start. So just keep that in mind. So Soundhound, I had marked this out before at a couple levels. We had 6.64, which looks like we're headed towards that level now, right? If I go to the daily, we came back up and retested this $9 level. We're unable to reclaim that. So if we can't reclaim that, the target's going to be back down here around $6-7. Okay. If we manage to get back above 9, you're looking up at 10. No changes in the trend. So there's no real move yet. The only thing I can probably say is by looking at these lows right here, there may be some bullish divergence forming. Maybe we can find something, because the way they're kind of coming down, it looks a little sus. It's like they're kind of coming down slowly. I mean, yeah, right here you can see some on the 4-hour into this low here. There's some divergence, but we got that pop. You can see a little divergence here. So it's starting to show up on the lower time frames. What we really want to see, and you can see it here on the daily too, because see how this wick's lower, momentum's up higher here, shifting up, price action is coming down. So it's showing that momentum is starting to shift to the upside as we're starting to approach a level of support. That's usually a early sign for me to start watching for a bounce. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it's something to watch for. But those are your levels on Soundhound. I already went over gold, dude. If you want to go check us out on YouTube, you can actually see the gold. Anyways, guys, I'm going to call for the night. I'm tired. My name is Eddie. I'm a trader at Tactical Edge Trading. Follow, subscribe, hit that like. Check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com. Free courses on there to teach you trading. We don't gatekeep anything. You can also check out our Discord. Free to join. If you do join, say what's up. My name is Unfair Philly on there. And yeah, I'll check you guys out. Until the next time, all right?